Hey everyone, welcome back to the Mention It All podcast. I am so thrilled to be here with an iconic Miami OG. It's her first time on the show, Adriana de Moura. Welcome. How are you?
I'm great. I'm so happy to be here for the first time.
I'm happy to have you here too. It's been a Miami summer. I love a Miami summer.
Yes.
This season has been spicy. There's a lot going on. How are you feeling these days?
Oh, I felt like this season I came in stealth mode and then finally just gave it, like all that everything was bottled up inside of me. I just had a moment.
What is it like for you? So you've been with this show since the beginning. It's been over a decade, a long journey. What is it like kind of thinking about all that time that you've spent around these women, around the cameras, with the Bravo fans and audience? What is it like for you to think about kind of how much of your life you've spent on this platform?
Yeah, it's crazy because sometimes people post like clips of like season 1 and 2, and you look at yourself, it's like, damn, I used to look so young. It's like, where'd that time go? But no, it's. I feel honored to have been a seminal part of this show. I feel like Miami has so much to give, and then we had Miami post, pre reboot and post reboot. And I feel like we just keep getting better and better, especially now that Miami became a destination after COVID. So I'm just honored and happy to be able to represent.
I do see when I'm on TikTok or Instagram, people sharing a lot of old clips from those original seasons. Some of you had some knockdown dragouts with Joanna.
Yeah.
Those I see those sometimes.
Yeah.
Some Leah Black, like she's always popping up. I wonder, like for you, are there any kind of favorite moments or memories that you have from those first few seasons of the show?
Yeah, my most favorite moments, the ones that I share with my son, like playing a piano recital with my son, and even like scenes with Leah, her son, my son. Those to me is like the sweetest moments because it's your kid, like when they were that young, like, just babies. So it's very sentimental in a way. It's those moments where you see your kid, like so little and like, yeah.
I think a lot of people maybe didn't watch Miami the first time it was on, but then now have kind of gone back and like refreshed their memories and stuff. So it's kind of fun to have that, like, it's 7 seasons, but it's so much longer when you put it all together.
Yeah, it's true. And I feel like I have evolved, trying to get wiser in my older years. I don't know how much wiser I've gotten, but I'm trying.
Well, it is interesting because this cast, I mean, obviously there have been some new people that have come in, but you, Alexia, Marysol, Lisa, Larsa have all been with the show in some way for a long time. So it does feel like we've seen a lot of different, people getting married, people getting divorced. There's, babies and fights and people coming back together. And so I think to think of all of you guys together as a group, it is like we've watched a lot of growth or maybe lack of growth for certain people, but
yeah, you know what they say, there's nothing worse than an old fool. Worse than a fool is an old fool. But we have gone through a whole trajectory of life, with weddings, funerals, divorces, weddings again, and divorces again, and babies, and like Lisa with her baby struggles when she was trying to become a mom, and now she has her kids and they're grown. I mean, it's very like encompassing, and it's very sweet to see how much of each other we had in our lives in the past almost 15 years now.
Your relationships with Alexia and Marysol have been challenging. Let's just say a lot of ups and downs.
Yeah.
For you, when you think about how long it's been that you've known them, like where do you sort of see that root of why it's been so complicated with you guys?
Yeah. I think we had a great friendship. They were my bridesmaids in my wedding, like every major moment, life moment that it was either good or bad. I was there for them when, her mom died, when Elsa died, and I've always been supportive, and I feel like they were supportive of me. Things changed when we got back after the reboot and new people were brought in, and that created a different dynamic, between us, the OGs. And I feel like a lot of my discord with them came when I introduced Julia to the group. That created maybe a distance between them and I, and it became like, oh, it was Marysol and Alexia on one side, Julia and Adriana on the other side, and it was almost like that kind of like not competition, but there was a separation.
Yeah. What was it like having Julia, somebody that you had a relationship with, not on the show at all, then come on? And obviously you guys have, gone through a lot in the last few seasons, but what was that like, kind of navigating that friendship being on the show for the first time?
It's a little nerve-wracking because when you bring someone that's your real life friend into a group like that, and you know that it's just the nature of it that you're going to have conflict, and you hope you're going to find resolution, right? Because just the nature of the ups and downs is a lot of people with huge egos and strong personalities. And so you're bound to have a conflict one point or another. So it's a little, angst to like bring somebody that it is your real friend that you really love. It's like, well, is he going to destroy that friendship or not? How much can this friendship outside of the show withstand, the friendship that is now going to be in the show? So it's always a big question.
Yeah, this season, it seems like an especially challenging time because Julia has gotten closer to Alexia and Marysol, and she's feeling like she wants more support from you, but at the same time, I think you feel like maybe she's not the one who needs support so much all the time. So what was that like? Did you know going into the season that you guys weren't in the best place, or was it kind of a surprise to you how it unfolded?
It was surprising because even though, she was traveling for summer, I was traveling for summer, and we hadn't really like seen each other much of the summer. But then when we came back together, I'm thinking, I'm the kind of friend, I have friends since like third grade. I'm that loyal friend that it's for life. I put you in my heart, and I'm going to have your back, and I'm going to be there for you. That's the type of friend I like to be, and the type of friend I like to have. So for me, even though, and sometimes you don't have to see each other all the time or every day, but you just have that person in your heart, right? And like we this is it. But so I was surprised in a way, and I was surprised to see how much closer she got. I mean, with Alexia, I knew she was getting close, but then getting close to Marysol, and then realizing that was creating some kind of feeling, and I felt like Marysol was getting her ear, and I was seeing her more and more distant, So then I started to go, oh, red flag.
We got a lot of red flags on this season. By the way, at that narcissism event that Alexia threw, I loved so much when you called that guy Daniel Hocus Pocus TikToker.
I know, right?
Because I was watching the episode and I was like, what is this guy's deal? Where did she find this person? Alexia has an interesting, she finds people that, I don't know. I don't know that I would want to be like spending a lot of time with.
Really, like from down under, like you couldn't find any expert in our narcissism and like relationships here in the United States. You have to go find someone from Australia with no credentials, like, okay, you wrote a book, everybody can write a book. So that doesn't mean like, where are the credentials? Where is education? Where is like, where is the expertise based on?
What was going through your head though at that event when the red flag game, and from the start you can see that it's not going to go well for Lisa. It was kind of tough to watch because it was funny, but at the same time it's like, if I were Lisa in that situation, I would be hurt too. It's
hurt because, okay, she was late and that was annoying. I agree with that. I'm not judging because I have my histories of being late too. So I think I come from our empathetic place for her to begin with. First, because Lisa and I have a huge history. Like we go way back, right? Since season 2. And I have a soft spot for her. I see her like a sister to me, and even if you look at the footages at the early seasons when Joanna and her had conflict, I've always had Lisa's back, So we always had that connection. And even when we were down, we were still stayed in touch. It was every Halloween, every Christmas, every time. We always like do something together, birthdays. So the connection was never lost. So it's not new that I'm defending Lisa. It's just the way our relationship has been for, since season 2. With that being said, I feel like they were ganging up, and she kind of gave it to them on a silver platter in the sense when she was 2 hours late.
Yeah.
So that didn't help.
Yes, Stephanie jumped right on that. That was a lot.
Yeah, that didn't help. But then later, I feel like it was, to me, felt like a gang up when everybody is saying this and another flag and another flag and another flag. And she just had just lost her father. It's heartbreaking. Like, you're coming from your dad's funeral and now your friends are all piling up on you. I don't like it.
Yeah, I think it helps to think about kind of the context, that because a lot of the time when you're watching the show, it's like, okay, they're filming a party, then there's a dinner or whatever, and like having those things in real life going on of like, she just lost her father, she's going through, the last couple seasons has been really challenging with everything with Lenny and all of that. So yeah, it is interesting to think more about like as people, how that's impacting versus just like Housewives, being fun to watch on the show.
Yeah. So it was really interesting that we're here to spot the narcissist. Meanwhile, there was no empathy throughout. I was like, is it like a group point out narcissism? Like, what is this about? Because with the TikToker, I'm like, do something. Save the girl.
What was your thought after at Gertie's event when people were outside? Steph was talking about the narcissism event, and Alexia was like, oh no, that wasn't about Todd. That was about all of you. I know that you have had
girl, please.
You've had thoughts and opinions about that relationship in the past, but this season, I mean, I imagine for you, maybe there was a little bit of feeling torn of like, I was right, kind of, but also, I'm sorry that you're going through this. I don't know.
Yeah.
What was that like for you?
It was a mixed feeling, type of emotion, because I was called a liar over and over again, and that was hurtful. When I knew I wasn't lying, I was just pointing out something very obvious, because I could see it from the outside. So it was just like, in one way, I felt vindicated, from being called a liar. In the other way, I don't wish that on anybody. And because I've known Alexia for so many years, and because I've seen her go through ups and downs, and because we've been there for each other, I did not rejoice in her pain. Because I'm a woman, I had my, fair share of disappointments in relationships. So I never rejoice for a woman that's going through a tough time, a divorce relationship.
I think a lot of the time you seem to be sort of speaking for you're on the same page as a lot of the viewers, where like you'll call something out like you see it. And I think a lot of people watching the show are like, that's exactly what I was thinking. And I think that maybe that isn't always appreciated from the people that are on the show.
No.
Because it's sometimes, I mean, I think the Gertie and Julia situation is another kind of similar one to that, where you're saying, I wanted to hear Gertie out. I wanted to kind of assess the situation. And Julia is maybe expecting more of a one-sided loyalty from you. Yeah. But I think a lot of people watching the show this season have said, this is complicated. It doesn't look great. The throwing the water wasn't fun. So I think for you, like, it seems like you kind of navigate those situations maybe just differently than some other people on the show. Yeah,
because I don't appreciate people, again, ganging up in one person. I've been there and it doesn't feel good. And beginning with the premise that I wasn't invited to the party where the water throwing happened. So I wasn't there. I didn't feel the intensity of either things. But then I'm like, getting reports on both sides, because I'm also friends with Gertie. Gertie's telling me something, Julia's telling me something, and I'm like in the middle trying to make sense of it all, understand both sides, and then try to say, okay, let's make some, be the mediator of that, because even though I didn't agree with Julia throwing water at her at all, I didn't think that was cool, understatement, but I also, still want to be friends with Julia. She's still my friend. So I was like between, a rock and a hard place, still trying to say, can we find mediation? Can we find middle grounds, on a situation that was quite, dramatic.
Yeah.
But I could not, first and foremost, be not truthful to my own values, a sense of justice and fairness. I've been blindly loyal to Julia, and maybe that's the problem. She was accustomed to me just always siding with her with no questions asked. But at that moment, it became deeper, and I had to do what it felt right.
I want to talk about this yacht episode because Miss Adriana, you were a little bit on one. I would say. So you find out from Kiki that Marysol had specifically requested not to be on the same yacht as you, and some of the things you said about Marysol, her damn dry knees, she has zero talent, manipulative and cunning. Fake Birkin bags and cubic zirconia rings will not absolve you from the evilness of your soul. Where is all of this coming from? I feel like it went from 0 to 100, and I love to watch it. But did you know that you were feeling that strongly about Marysol, or was it really triggered by that yacht situation?
No, that to me was triggering because. So here's the progression of events, right? We ended previous season somewhat okay, right?
Sure.
Then we start filming. The first time that we're all supposed to be together as a group, it's Marysol's wedding celebration, 10th wedding celebration, because at this point she already bit Elizabeth Taylor, like, you know what I mean? It's another wedding. It's like a birthday party. It's like every year you have one, like. So whatever. We're going for yet another wedding celebration, and I was literally not invited. Mm-hmm. And there was a lot of resistance for me not to be invited. So at that point, I'm thinking, like, we left okay. So we're going to start like this? Yeah. That I am not invited. Everybody else is invited except me. So that's like very, like, trying to ice me out, trying to get me out of the group. And that's not cool. Mm-hmm. Right? Because I haven't done anything to her, seen her, or spoken to her since we had wrapped for the previous season. So I'm like, what is this coming?
Right, like, why not at least start the season in a neutral place?
In a neutral place. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying be my bestie again. I'm saying at least it's all our jobs to be there. So first of all, I didn't get invited. Secondly, the next all group event, it was hosted by me, which was Julia's baby shower, right? And I did not retaliate. I invited Marysol, I invited Alexia. That was not shown, but I gave Marysol a wedding gift. I say, thank you for coming. Here is a gift for you and Steven. So I was putting my best foot forward and not retaliating, not being invited to her thing. Okay, we had a great time, was fun, was funny, all that. Now the next event again, all together, is the yacht.
Yeah.
So I'm like, wait a minute, what happened? Nothing happened between Julia's baby shower and the yacht to justify that hatred coming from her, saying, I know I'm not going to be in the same boat with her. Mm-hmm. When a week before, she was in the baby shower that I threw.
Right.
So you see, like,
yeah. So it was like that. It didn't match up with where you thought the energy was at.
Yeah, because she blocked me from her event.
Right.
I invited to mine. We were cordial and okay. So the next event, what did I do now besides trying to be nice to you for you to justify refusing being on a boat with me?
Yeah, because I think there have been times where maybe you're not making like an honest effort with her, but I think it seems like this season you actually wanted to be in a better place.
Yeah.
Well, at least she thinks it's cool that you play the piano.
That's right. Well, something positive.
The only thing she could come up with.
Yeah.
So I wish I played the piano.
Facts. Okay. Yeah.
For the rest of the season, you guys have an exciting trip to Spain coming up. Mm-hmm. I know that you're working on a master's degree.
Yeah.
What's exciting in the life of Adriana right now?
Adriana is booked and busy, baby. I have no time for nonsense. So yeah, I'm doing a lot. I am, pursuing a master's degree at Harvard, in psychology with an emphasis in neurobiology and specifically sleep, mechanisms of the brain and sleep. And
do you have trouble sleeping?
No, I don't actually. Okay. Sometimes if I feel like that's too much on my head or anything, but sleep, it's like a worldwide, problem where millions of people cannot sleep without any sort of, sleep medication that then creates dependency, creates a whole set of other side effects. So that's what I'm interested in right now, and I'm working under a super well-renowned and published professor that specializes in that. So that's taking a lot of my time. When I'm not filming, I'm literally studying, and trying to be a better person.
You're a very eclectic soul. I feel like you speak a lot of languages. You play the piano, as we mentioned. You're studying. I feel like obviously on Housewives we see specific parts of your life and sides of your personality. But I feel like you are one of the more unique people probably that we see on this show.
Thank you. Yeah. I am. I was raised by two Renaissance women, my mom and my grandmother. My grandmother, I used to spend a lot of time with her, and she was, a painter and, a great musician and a cook. And, she had 7 children. And so my point of reference is someone that can do it all and do it all, as well as they can. So that to me is like, those are my heroines and the people that I try to emulate.
Yeah. Like, it's not exciting to you to just like sit in the house with nice things and not
I have a thirst for learning. I've always been that way. My mom says that when I was a little girl, I'm the oldest of 4, and everybody's playing and I was in a corner reading. So it's like something that feeds my soul, and I deeply need it. I have this thirst for learning, so I need to engage in something that's intellectual, and it's like, that always making you learn and, see things, open up your horizons,
Well, you're still reading. Just these days, you're reading Marysol.
Sometimes I'm just reading for Phil. Sorry.
Well, Adriana, thank you so much for being here. I can't wait to see the rest of the season, the reunion. Come on, let's go.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. This was fun.
Thanks, everyone, for watching. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe. And until next time, be cool. Don't be all like uncool.
That's right.